Everyone, welcome back. We are in Age of Apocalypse, Phase 4. This is Weapon X, number 4. And this is the final issue of Weapon X, written by a guy and drawn by another guy. Jesus. Larry Hama, script, Adam Cooper, pencilers. Yeah, so Adam Cooper, man, I really enjoy his work. Sometimes he does some weird, crazy shit, but for the most of it, I really like it. And this is a interesting cover. I mean, I really like the shading on this face and everything, but it never dawned on me what was going on for a long time. I just thought it was a cool shot of Wolverine, fucking murdering somebody, but that was, it's his fucking left hand. It's his stump that is supposed to be gone, but he has fucking claws coming out. What's going on here? Kind of a Electra thing going on here with it just poking up out of the through the clothes there. So Wolverine, he's working for the Human High Council. He was with Jean Grey, and the Human High Council is going to fucking nuke America, basically, where Apocalypse is taking control. It's the only way they feel they can stop him. So they got this whole armada going. Jean Grey couldn't stomach that idea, so she left, which was heartbreaking for Wolverine here. He calls him Weapon X in here. That's what they call him, but I just call him Wolverine. It's Wolverine. So then they were attacked by Donald Pierce and some altered cybernetic humans, and they destroyed a satellite dish thing that was the navigation array for the armada. So Wolverine went and found Gateway here at Wundagore Mountain, because he has the ability to navigate the armada there. So they can't make their way here without his help. But he doesn't want to do it. But he's like, you can take me back and you can try to convince me. So they're showing him all this devastation, this horror that's going on, and why they're doing this. And this is Emma Frost. Not a bad, sexy picture. She doesn't have her powers. They never explain why, as far as I know. But on the other side of her head here, which we'll see somewhere, right here, her head is shaved and she has a scar. So it looks like somebody did some kind of tampering with her, and seems like she lost her telepathic powers, right? So, Gateway's not being swayed so much, and Wolverine kind of forces him to look at this shit. Don't just walk through with your eyes closed. Look how cool I am. Oh yeah, there's a better picture of Emma Frost here. Kind of a sexy look, honestly. And shows this infinite how it's just going to murder this little girl. He puts it in there, forces him to watch. Just puts it right in his face. And there's a diary. He's like, fucking read this too, and shoves that into his face. Just putting the guilt, showing him all the horror that's going on. He says, Logan, you are a cold son of a... I was like, yes, sir, I surely am. But that comes with being hairy and unloved. What's your excuse, he says. So here's the Human High Council. This is a cool picture of Wolverine. I like the... he's striking the match off his, metal stump here and bringing it up to this fucking big cigar. Crazy hair, which was awesome in Deadpool and Wolverine when they showed all the different variants Deadpool was trying to get, and one of them was this version. He had the fucking crazy hair. I'm so glad they made it like that, because I was like, man, his hair in this is fucking nuts. It's crazy. Crazier than it's been anywhere else. But I like the lighting going on here with the, from the light source here. This hand looks really good. Here's the Human High Council. There's Mariko Yashida. There's Brian Braddock, Captain Britain. There's Moira McTaggart. And there's Trevor... No. That's Trask. What's his first name? Bolivar Trask. I was going to say Henry Gyrick. I was going to say something else. Now I can't remember. Shut up, John. Anyways... So, yeah, they need Gateway's help, and they're still trying to convince him to do it. Cut to Apocalypse, and he's talking with this guy Rex. He's just kind of like this underling, and he's just giving him a report of what's going on. He's like, our airship armada is no longer in London and might be regrouping en route to attack us. But there's a big storm brewing over the North Atlantic, so that might like help us out. And we have no word at all from Peace and the Altered Humans. And Mikhail, your missing horseman, has not reported in on his arrival in London. And that's what we're going to see in Universe X number 2 here pretty soon. And it says, the players are all in place for the endgame, Rex. Endgame. I'm curious to see how it plays out, but like, what if they destroy us? And like, whoever wins will justify their genetic superiority. And they're looking at something in this VAT tank for some reason. Who cares? Doesn't matter. More talking. It looks like Gateway is helping out. He's navigating up here. He's like, I don't have time to go through why I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to do it for that little girl in the holograms. I'm going to do it for Carol Danvers. She was in, Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. She was in the last issue. She was just a regular human, but she ended up, she was friends with Wolverine here, but she ended up dying. Seemingly she was dying, killed by Donald Pierce. So Wolverine's going to go check on the council, and you have, like, Braddock here, and he's arguing with Emma Frost. She's saying, you shouldn't be on board, you're too important. And he's like, yeah, but who better to be aboard if something goes wrong? And he walks away, and she's like, something's not right with him. And he says, Mariko said the same thing. But if he was student for Apocalypse, why would he be here? This would be target number 1. She's like, that would be suicidal. And then she kind of makes a crack at Jean Grey. As suicidal as coming on board if you thought your former soulmate had run off to warn the enemy of our plans. Even in another universe, Emma Frost is taking a shot at Jean Grey. He has this like look, and you can see like her reflection in his eye right there. That's kind of cool. And he walks. He's like, come take a walk with me, Miss Frost. And now this is just an excuse to show like all these bombs in the weapons bay. And he kind of talks about what Jean Grey was doing and why she was doing it. And, she's a pistol and a firecracker. And she's going to do everything she can to stop this from falling, even if it means like, wait, what does he say? No, he said she's a pistol and a firecracker, but she's not hardened enough to do something like this, And that's kind of why he likes her. But she'll storm heaven and hell to stop this from falling. And Emma Frost kind of gives, she apologizes, like, that was mean for me to say. I can't imagine what it's like for you. And it's like, what it's like for me, who's going to have to pitch these right on top of, like, the woman I love. Yeah. So then we go to fucking goofy ass looking Gateway here. He's on top of one of the ships, like a hood ornament, and he's gonna plunge. They're about to plunge into the storm, and he's gonna navigate through it. And the Kubert brothers, they like to do some weird perspectives on human anatomy, and I've pointed that out in other issues. And this one just is no different. Just kind of weird. But it works. But then something is flying through the sky. And it's Pierce, and he's being carried by this fucking bird person who was with him in the previous issue. And they start attacking. No, he starts attacking over here, but he sends a message to Apocalypse forces. And he says, scramble the interceptor. So these guys are launching to go intercept the armada. Right? So he gives away their position. Starts attacking, and you can't tell for now. You can tell, but there's Carol Danvers there. Right? I'm like, what the fuck is she doing here? So Emma Frost, she gets on the comms, and she's like, we're being attacked. We've been boarded. And Braddock says, like, tell him it's Pierce. And she's like, wait, how do you know that? How do you know it's him? And then here, Pierce gives away, spoils the beans, and he says, it's time to show your true colors for Apocalypse. And Braddock here was working for Apocalypse the whole time. And he backhands her, and he says, to the helm, we'll turn a beam of the wind and bring the armada to a stop. So up here, this bird person, and it's Carol Danvers, says so right there, she's shooting like crazy, and they talk about later what happened. She was dying, and Pierce basically saved her life by connecting her to this other person's cybernetic body. It's very weird. So she's a strange, mutated, altered human kind of thing. But she's blasting everywhere like crazy and hits Wolverine in the arm right there. Okay? Kind of takes him out. And Wolverine's yelling at her, like, don't do it, stop. Look what he's done to you. That's what the whole world's going to be like. It looks like he's getting through to her. Emma Frost shows up. She has this big fucking axe. And Pierce is talking about how there's a cerebral cortex implant, and they're basically mind controlling Braddock here. And he says, I couldn't fight it. I was weak until now. Fucking conveniently, I guess, for whatever reason. Breaks free. So he was betraying them, but he wasn't doing it on purpose. But then he broke free, so who fucking cares? But then, like, as he shoots him out the window, but then he extends his arm, Pierce does, and just impales him. I've been impaled. And she swings down the axe, cutting off the arm, and he fucking dies right here in her arms. He's like, I couldn't do it, Emma. In the end, I was only human. So, Captain Britain, Brian Braddock, this is him, right? In the main universe. I don't know anything about that character, really. Was he never a mutant, but he was on Excalibur, which is an X-Men title? Very weird to me. I don't know what's going on. But his sister is Betsy Braddock, Psylocke, who's not in the Age of Apocalypse at all. She's a mutant. Yeah, it's fucking weird. Anyways, topside, there's this fucking ugly face of Carol Danvers, all squinty and nose and shit like that. And skin is coming out. And she's like, I was dying. The grenade tore me and Pierce apart. He infected me with whatever he's got and was able to put me back together. So I couldn't, like, stop him. But she says, do what you have to do. It's going to make me shoot Gateway, so you have to stop me. But he's like, my arm is all shot up. He can't, like, pop his claws. But Pierce can, so he fucking impales her, kills her. Fucking Pierce, man, just a pain in the ass. So he they're on top of the goddamn armada. And he grabs a Pierce right here. And Wolverine comes up to him, and you're like, oh, what is he going to do? He's going to stump me to death, because he can't, like, extract his claws. He can't snick them, I guess. But you hear the snick, the schlock shrip snicked. And his claws come out of his stump there. It says, Cyclops may have lopped off my hand, but my claws were retracted inside my forearm until now. Guy more jokes with him, so he fucking kills him there. Cool shot. And this is the final page. And he's like, just like the final joke's on us. We're going down. This is, give me a rope, Logan. Day's not lost yet. He attaches the rope to his whirligig and starts flinging it like crazy. And it creates this gigantic fucking portal. I can create a space-time vortex big enough for the whole armada to slip through. I'm like, okay. So the whole armada is going through, bypassing the storm and bypassing any of Apocalypse forces. And this is the end of this book. And Wolverine there, that's a cool goddamn shot. That might be the thumbnail. And Wolverine says, I wish I could say I was happy about this, because I was kind of hoping we'd get shot down. But if it's in my stars to bring this war to Apocalypse, then let's get it on, because Doomsday is coming. And you must read X-Men Omega for the stunning conclusion. So this was a cool comic, mostly held up by Adam Kubert's art and the character of Wolverine. It's not as, like, thought-provoking as some of the others have been, like Gambit the Externals, or some as sad as, like, Generation Next, where everyone dies. People do die, but it's a fun comic. It's a fun series, and I've always enjoyed it. So, what do you think of this comic? I kind of breezed through some of it because it ultimately didn't matter what was going on. Mariko only showed up here. You thought she was going to do more, but she didn't. She had conversations with Wolverine in the previous issues. They had a history in the past. She was like non-existent here. Neither were these two. Anyways, there it is. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, please. Put a comment down. Tell me what you thought of this. I always enjoy chatting, and hearing what you have to say. If you're here for Rusty, let me know. I'll put more videos of Rusty. Thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.